Oh, hello, my baby gorillas. And I'm not sure if I'm streaming just now. Oh, sending data online, no viewers. Oh, fantastic. I don't know if this has actually worked. Let's have a wee check and see if this is actually working. I think it is. Hello, my baby gorillas. And I still think there's issues with this decoder. This is going to be very interesting. Sending data online, and sending data. So it looks like it's working. Woof! Oh, it's live there. Let me just check on OBS. Nobody's commenting. The chat is ready to display messages. Oh my goodness. And let us just check. This could be the first non-screw up that we've got. Seems to be all working. If anybody's out there, give us a share. Oh, I'm going live. Oh, good stuff. We seem to be live. Let me just check on OBS. Oh, it seems to be working on. Like we're going out live on. The chat is ready to display. Let's just see what it is. Oh my goodness. Good stuff. That's it. Let's just say, and let's get a title. Corporatism. And let us just check. This could be the first non-screw up. Corporatism. Seems to be all working. If anybody's out there, give us a share. Oh, I'm going live. Oh, good stuff. The chat is ready to display. Let's just see what it is. Oh my goodness. Does. Good stuff. That's it. Let's just say, and let's get a title. Corporatism, and let us just check. This could be the first. Corporatism, not capitalism, is what the LibLabCon party do. So, good stuff. We're actually on. We're going out live. I'm absolutely over the moon. Where can we actually get a? It's weird that it's not got a. Let's go back to the dashboard. It's not got an image. Not got a wee image there. That's very interesting. Well, let's go straight into what we were actually discussing. And that with the new coronavirus, we're reaching a new age. A new age. Apply for the Corona Business Interruption Loan Scheme. And let's see what sort of shit show this is. Eligibility. Your business is based in the UK. Check. Your business has a turnover of under £45 million. Check. Your business has a borrowing proposal which lenders would consider viable. Check. You can self-certify that your business has been adversely impacted by coronavirus. Check. Business with turnovers up to 45 million may be entitled to other support. Let's check what the other support is. So what there should be is just one application, one process, and sent out to all of the people who are doing this, so that you don't have to rewrite the same thing and don't have to check again. Apply for coronavirus large business interruption scheme. Apply for coronavirus corporate financing, business finance and support. It would be good if there was a government helpline, wouldn't there? You think that would do that? Sick pay, pay for your employees, find out financial support which you may be eligible. Start now. Oh, I'm going live. Well, we may be entitled to other support. Let's check what the other support is. I think that's maybe in the wrong place. Let's try and move this box. Don't know why. Ready for, and yet we've not got any. Don't know where the. I think we'll move it down here, out the way. So, find Corona financial support for businesses in Scotland. What's next? Zero. How many employees do you have? Does your business have? 0 to 249. Next step. Find coronavirus financial support. What is your turnover? Under 85,000. Next step. Find coronavirus. Are you an employer with a PI wage scheme? No. Next step. Are you self-employed? Yes. Find Corona financial support for your business. What is the rateable by? My business does not have. My business does not have any non-domestic property. Correct. Are you due for a self-assessment payment account on June the 31st? Don't think so. Find Corona support for your business. Support you may be entitled to self-employment income. If you've self-employed either as an individual or in a partnership, you can claim taxable grant worth 80% of your trading profits up to £2,500 per month. This would extend to you may be eligible for a scheme if you have lost profits due to the coronavirus. If you submit your self-assessment tax return from 2018 to 2019 tax, or your tax on 2019 to 2020 tax year, you are trading when you apply or would expect for the, or trading when you apply or would be expect to for, that doesn't make sense, coronavirus. You intend to continue trading 21-21st tax year. The trading profits is no more than 50,000 for either tax year, or you are averaging the last 3 years. Your tax profits may have more than half of the total income for either. So what if you don't have these? Trading profits do not include dividends. Claim grant through So, coronavirus interruption for if small, medium sized businesses, SME, you may be able to apply for a temporary loan, overdraft, invoice finance, asset finance of up to £5 million for up to 6 years. You may be eligible for business interruption payment to cover the first 12 months of interest payment for any lender. The government will give 80% guarantee each loan subject to pre-lending cap on claims. Self-employed people are also eligible for the coronavirus business scheme. You may be eligible for the scheme if you meet all of the following criteria. You're a business, UK business with turnover of no more than 45 million. Your borrowing proposal would be considered viable to the lender, if not for the current pandemic. If you are certified coronavirus has adversely impacted your business, apply for coronavirus interruption scheme. Coronavirus to access finance of up to £5 million. That sounds absolutely fantastic. That will certainly get the business back and on its feet. Scheme supports small, medium-sized businesses with turnovers up to 45 million to access loans, overdrafts, finance, and any lender levy fees. This means small business will benefit from no upfront costs and initial repayments, which is good. That's great if it works. The government will provide lenders with 80% of the loan, subject to pre-lender cap on claims, to give lenders further confidence in continuing to provide financial and small, medium-sized businesses. The scheme is delivered through the Commercial Lenders Bank by the government-owned British Business Bank. There are 40 lenders, are there? Oh, that'll be great. So let's go through and see who these lenders are. The British Business Bank. Use the filters down the right hand side to find the lenders in your region provide the type of business finance. Resolve credit, long-term loans. Could it work in overdraft facilities? Sure, it doesn't really matter. Filter through, show all in that. We're in Scotland, so that's massively reduced what we can get. And so we've got a limited number of lenders now. Ambro is accredited, blah blah blah. ABM can offer between 25 fees. Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, Enterprise Finance Guaranteed, blah blah blah. The Commercial Finance Coronavirus Interruption Scheme. Corona Finance is a leading asset-based lender offering a range of funding solutions and specialising in refinancing or capitalisation, acquisition finance and financial growth. They have been accredited lenders from the British Bank since 2009, 20 years experience in supporting business and their clients. If your business-to-business operations in the UK with an annual turnover of 2.5 million, your business-to-business operations in the UK with an annual turnover, ABM Finance can help. So already it doesn't look like these guys can help, because if you've got under 2.5 million, which in partnership with the British Bank, The scheme can provide facilities, blah, blah, blah. The scheme can provide facilities for businesses across the UK who are experiencing loss in deferred revenue directly as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, leading to disrupted cash flow. If your business operations in the UK with an annual turnover of between 2.5 and 45 million, ABM can help you access alongside the receivable finance solutions delivered by the business bank. The scheme provides a government-backed 80% guarantee to lenders to support viable applications. This will support the potential vision during the COVID-19 outbreak. ABM. So this is already now saying that some small businesses are not going to get it. Some special features: Sybil's partial guarantee facilities available for invoice finance top-ups up to 3-year terms. There is no guarantee fee to you for access to this scheme, so no guarantee. So you're likely not to get it. You benefit no upfront costs, lower initial repayments. Lenders will pay fees to access schemes, and the government will benefit. So this is corporatism. This is already paying people who have already got the businesses and not the start-up businesses. There's the start-up businesses that create growth. 12 months scheme, unsecured lending facilities, $250,000 for facilities above $250,000 with blah, blah, blah. Eligibility criteria. If you meet the eligibility criteria from Sybil's, you have an existing or an interest in receivable finance facilities with ABM commercial finance. Your application must be for a business proposals. You must be a UK-based business with turnover between 2.5 and 45. So already for small businesses, they don't meet these eligibility criteria. So the government's already lying about the criteria. We're going to go through these. Let's phone them up. Contact us. Oh.
ABN AMRO Commercial Finance. We are currently unable to accept any calls due to the recent pandemic. We kindly ask you to forward all correspondence by email to reception@abnamroabf.com, where all inquiries will be processed and handled effectively.
Right, so nobody's answered the phone. And I would say that this number one is a complete waste of time, but we'll apply for it anyway. But I mean, we're already out with the criteria, as will many start-up businesses be. High streets, borrowing, security. How it works. A lender of up to £5 million, term loans, overdrafts. Right, let me read through this. The Coronavirus Business Interruption Scheme (CBILS) is now available through leading participating lenders. Using the buttons below, select the option that most relevant to you. Above, for SME, accredited lenders and prospective lenders. Find a lender. Approach a lender. You should approach a lender yourself, ideally via the lender's website. There are a high demand for CBL facilities, phone links. Use the lenders not to personal loans. CBL facilities. Phone lines are likely to be busy and branches may not be able to handle inquiries in person. Not every accredited lender can provide every type of finance available under the CBILS scheme, and the amount of finance offered varies between lenders. Please see the lender's website for more information on the amount that they are able to offer. Lenders make a decision. A lender has the authority to decide whether to offer you finance. So maybe we need to require start-up grants from the government for stage 1 and stage 2 funding. I mean, it's incredible that we go around this merry-go-round of having to spend hours applying for each individual bank. There should be just one website that then supplies all the banks, and then we can mitigate time. I mean, what's the point in actually having to apply individually for each bank when the information is exactly the same? One website would then disseminate all the lenders to all the lenders, and then we would find out who's wasting their time and not. Facilities, personal still lenders. So it shouldn't be coming. There should be grant opportunities from the government. There's a funding deficit for start-up capital from this scheme already. They exclude the principal. So what we are doing is lending to the companies who have got the most money, and not facilitating those who may be small or starting out, or there might be a number of things that they don't actually fit into the lenders, and then the lenders reject them, and then they still don't get access to start-up cash. Recovers under those caps. There should be £2 billion in Scotland a year going to start-up capitals from the public purse. Recover capital at the minimum 20%, the outstanding balance of the CBILS facility after the process of business assets has been applied. Recoveries under these are capped to 20% of the outstanding balance of the CBILS facility. If the lender turns you down, if one lender turns you down, you can approach other lenders within the scheme. Access to this scheme has now been opened up to small businesses, cash flow difficulties, who previously would not be eligible for the CBILS because they met requirements for other standard commercial facilities. You may be considered for contacting your lender if you have previously been unsuccessful in securing finance. Who is eligible? Your business must be a UK-based business activity, has a turnover of no more than £45 million, have borrowing proposals which a lender would consider viable where it's not for the current pandemic, self-certify that it has been adversely impacted by the coronavirus. Lenders will need further information to confirm eligibility. All lending decisions may be fully delegated to the 40 plus accredited lenders. View our quick eligibility checklist. Businesses from any sector can apply except the following: banks, insurers and reinsurers, but not insurance brokers, public sector bodies, further education establishments if they are grant funded, state funded primary and secondary schools. View our CBILS frequently asked question for businesses. What will lenders need from this? You can apply for business loan. Most lenders will ask for the following: details of the loan, the amount you will like to borrow, what the money is for. Lenders will check that it is a suitable business process and the right type of finance for your needs. The period over which you will make the repayments. The lender will assess whether the loan is affordable for you. You need to provide certain evidence to show that you can afford to repay the loan. This is likely to include management accounts, cash flow forecast, business plan, holistic, historic accounts, details of assets. So what happens to startup businesses? So this does not cover startup businesses. The above requirements will vary from lender to lender. If you do not have everything above listed, CBILS could still be an option to provide finance to support your business. For many customers approaching their existing lender for a small facility, the process will be automatic and therefore may not require same level of documentation. Other business finance support options, you can find details of other measures support public services provided and businesses through the Disruption of Businesses website. Let's go to that. So we've got paying for your employees, paying sick pay, pay tax, business rates relief, business support, grants, funds, support self-employed, support small and medium size, support large businesses. Apply for Corona Future Fund. The scheme will issue convertible loans between 125 million to innovate companies which are facing financial difficulties. The scheme is not available yet. It will launch in May 2020. The Future Fund will provide government loans to UK-based companies ranging from 125 to 5 million, subject to equal matching funding from the private sector. These convertible loans may be a suitable option for businesses that rely on equity investment and are unable to access coronavirus business interruption loan scheme. So these convertible loans may be a suitable option for businesses that rely on equity investment and unable to access the coronavirus interruption scheme. The scheme will be delivered in partnership with the British Business Bank. The highline terms out many features except to apply to the loans are attached at the bottom of the page. Eligibility is based in the UK, can attract equal match funding from third-party private investors and institutions, have at least £250,000 in equity from third-party investors over the last 5 years. Full eligibility. So again, that cancels out a whole bunch of start-up businesses. Let's see if we can get a coronavirus helpline in Scotland. Let's see if the government's actually set up. Find coronavirus support. The government have launched a new service to help find UK-wide coronavirus financial support for business. It covers most but not all business support available to businesses in Scotland. Keep looking here for the latest UK Scottish government updates 21st of April 2020. The second phase of the Creative Scotland bridging bursary. Check if our claims on employee wages through the coronavirus retention scheme. Business gateway accounts. They have announced development support between 3 and 5 for independent film. Oh, yeah. So it just takes you back. So I'm not going through that again. That's just a complete waste of time. So let's go back and see, have they got a contact number? So we're in the business gateway. I mean, this whole system's an absolute farce. It's an absolute joke of a system. This is when the government gets involved in helping. Let's call these absolute clowns.
Thank you for contacting the Business Gateway Helpline. Your call may be recorded for monitoring and training purposes. If you're contacting us regarding the recent Scottish Government funding announcement, applications for the £100 million fund will be open by the end of the month, and the new arrangements for the Small Business grant will be in place to receive applications on the 5th of May. Unfortunately, we do not have any other information on the details of these funds, including eligibility criteria or how to apply. For information on our privacy policy and how we will use your data, please visit www.bgateway.com/privacy-policy. In order to get you to the correct team, please choose from one of the following options. Press option 1 if your inquiry is regarding the coronavirus, where we will transfer you to the Find Business Support team. Press option 2 if you're based in Scotland and looking to start or grow your business or have a general business inquiry and would like to speak to an inquiry officer. Thank you for calling Find Business Support. If you're contacting us regarding the recent Scottish Government funding announcement, applications for the £100 million fund will be open by the end of the month, and the new arrangements for the small business grant will be in place to receive applications on the 5th of May. Unfortunately, we do not have any other information on the details of these funds, including eligibility criteria or how to apply. However, please visit the Find Business Support website, where you can sign up for updates at www.findbusinesssupport.gov.scot. That is www.findbusinesssupport.gov.scot. If you would like to speak with a call handler, please choose one of the following options. Press option 1 to speak to the HMRC coronavirus helpline regarding funding for the self-employed. If you run a business or are self-employed and are concerned about paying your tax, press option 2 to speak to ACAS. If your inquiry is regarding employment, workplace or staff inquiries, including self-isolation of staff and sick pay, or please visit the ACAS website at acas.org.uk. Press option 3 if your inquiry is regarding business rates. Press option 4 if you have any queries regarding universal credit. Press option 5 to hold and speak to the next available inquiry officer if you have a business-related inquiry. However, please be aware the average wait time is currently around 40 minutes, and we would strongly urge callers to choose the Find.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So we've got to wait now 40 minutes. I was in the top 13 business plans for all. Hello?
Good afternoon, Find Business Support. Amy speaking, how can I help?
Hi, Amy. I have just gone through some of the literature you've got for lending and going through the different types of lenders on the British business banking. And like, for example, the first one you come to, ABM Ambro and commercial finance, it's saying that you require to have 2.5 million pounds, etc. In business operations. So what happens if you've got less than that? And what happens if you've got multiple companies doing various things and various ways of actually start up, or various aspects of starting it up?
Right. Well, can I just check where you're looking at it? Just it's normally dealt with by each individual kind of bank. So it would depend on their kind of process, how it would kind of work, but there is different versions of the business interruption loan scheme that you're looking at.
Right. Such as, give us an example.
So there's one specifically for kind of large businesses, there's one for kind of smaller businesses, that sort of thing.
Oh no, I've gone through the small, I've gone through the click thing. I've gone through and it's given me 40 various banks and building societies. I've done it for Scotland on various sizes of lending and overdraft facilities. But when you click on the first one, now I will apply to them all individually, but do I apply per company? So if I've got multiple companies, do I apply per company?
It would depend on the individual bank, how they're kind of doing the applications. What they've kind of said is in the first instance to kind of approach your own bank in the first instance, and then kind of go from there. But it would just be dependent on the individual lender, how they were kind of working it.
Right.
They all have their own kind of processes and things like that.
Right. So say they all decide they don't want to fund us. Where do you look after that then? What's the access for stage? What's the access for stage one funding? Stage one, stage two funding for a new startup business?
So is it for a startup or is it specifically for coronavirus that you're looking for the funding for?
The businesses are going through the coronavirus just now. So I've got some that are limited companies, some that are sole traders, and it's really about how to actually get funding for that, and also because they're going through the coronavirus like everybody else.
And is it your business? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would depend on the individual business what support they would kind of be entitled to and things like that.
Right.
So for like some of them, it would be through obviously the business interruption loan scheme. If they're kind of sole traders, it might be if they do kind of tax returns through the self-employment grants and things like that. It would just be dependent on the business. If it was for specifically, I know you said startup, but do you mean actually trying to start funding to start up the business at the moment?
Well, some of them are limited and already started, but yeah, some of them are at the startup phase.
Yeah, the Scottish Government did announce that there was going to be further funding for people who are newly self-employed. It was only just announced, so there's not any kind of further information.
Is that the £100 million?
Yeah, so we're waiting on kind of a further update on that, basically, who is going to apply to things like that. They have said it's kind of for people that don't kind of meet any of the funding that's available at the moment, like some people who have just kind of started up and things like that. But we don't have any kind of further details on the application process or the eligibility or anything like that.
Right.
As soon as we do have it, it will be updated on the Find Business Support page.
Because when I find that I'm applying for things for the loans, I've never received a penny from any bank, any grant funding. I mean, I was in the top 13 business plans for all the universities in Scotland, and I've never received one penny from any grant loan, any commercial loan, any bank lending. Not one penny have I ever received from any sort of startup thing. So that then doesn't facilitate me actually developing the business, does it?
It's not really something I can comment on.
So I know, but who should be commenting on it, do you think? Is it the government?
Well, it depends what specific help is. It depends on basically what you were looking for help with.
Right.
We've basically got a list on the business support website of all the different kind of funding that's available. There's lots of different options, things like that. So it just depends what the specific business does. Different funds are run through kind of different people. Like
where is this then? I'm on your business. I'm on your business gateway. Where is this thing?
It's on Find Business Support, findbusinesssupport.gov.scot. There is also.
Or is that a different website? That's not on. I'm on the Business Gateway local office. Can you say that again, please?
It's Find Business Support, findbusinesssupport.gov.scot. You can also speak to within those kind of local offices. There is Business Gateway advisors. They can let you know.
I've been through all that. I've been through that all on multiple occasions. As I said to you, I was at Strathclyde University doing a Masters in Computer and Internet Science. I was in the top. The Scottish Enterprise set up the Scottish Institute of Enterprise. Scottish Institute of Enterprise is a charity, and they ran a competition to assess all the students for their business planning. We did a business plan, and I was supported by the Scottish Institute of Enterprise, and we accessed all aspects of potential funding for this charity, and we didn't receive a penny. And that's just one. I mean, I've also set up other businesses and not received a penny in funding for anything that I've done. Is there a funding problem? It seems like the money's going to the large corporations and yet nothing's coming to the small ones. I would suggest that it's the small ones that are potential. If we're going to get the next Google, it requires to be stage 1 and stage 2 funding for startup businesses, no?
So all the kind of startup funding is dealt with by kind of Business Gateway. They kind of deal with all the kind of...
I've been in Business Gateway. Sorry to interrupt you. I've been going to Business Gateway since I was about 18, and I've never received any sort of help or funding through Business Gateway. I've taken full business. I just spent a year developing a business plan. It was 200 pages long. It's completely, fully concise of what I was going to do and what I was wanting to do. And I went into the DSL, and they didn't. They said I had to redo my full business plan, and start again because they only wanted to do 45 pages. They couldn't even bother reading the exec summary, which was concise and actually summarised it all anyway. I mean, it's incredible. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I'm not surprised that we're not actually developing the economy where we're actually developing businesses if you can't get stage 1 and stage 2 funding. So I'll systematically go through every lender, every one of the things that you've actually said here, and I'm going to tape it. I've got a thing called the Guerrilla TV channel, and I'm going to put out the fact that none of these fundings are available now. The government has announced, I think, a £2 billion to existing companies who have probably got cash flow anyway. I would suggest that it's the start-up businesses they need to access and finance, because it's the start-up businesses. This £2 billion would have been better going to start-up businesses, because it's them that we're going to get the next Google or Facebook out of, not the ones that are already in existence, I would suggest.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There has been a further announcement, and on the Find Business Support page, we do have a specific page on funding, and it's got a list of all the kind of different funding options.
Find Business Support, is that the findbusinesssupport.gov.scot?
Yeah.
So can we just walk through it together? So Find Business Support.
Yeah, and basically if you walk to the top, there's a kind of tab on kind of coronavirus, and there's a specific page on kind of sources of finance.
Just for the coronavirus, or just generally for coronavirus?
For coronavirus at the moment, is that not what you were asking about? Sorry.
Yeah, but what about just general funding for start-up businesses?
So that's all handled by Business Gateway. It basically is dependent on the kind of local authority, so kind of start-up funding all kind of goes through themselves. So
there's not really very many. I stay in Edinburgh, so there's not very many start-up funding in Edinburgh.
Like I say, it's Business Gateway that deals with all the kind of start-up side of things.
Right, surely.
Kind of funding that's available.
So there's not very much there. So surely the government should bring in maybe a couple of £1 billion to actually finance start-up businesses, because obviously there seems to be a funding gap between stage 1 and stage 2 funding of a business, and being able to go to lenders to actually show them historical figures, or to actually get business angel or venture capital support. There seems to be a funding gap here. It seems to be the money's going to the existing corporations and not to stage 1, stage 2 funding. I mean, £100 million is a drop in the ocean for these start-up companies, no?
It's not something that we deal with. It is unfortunately dealt with through Business Gateway. They deal with all the kind of start-up funding and things like that. It's not something that we kind of have control over.
So as I say, yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I can point you in the direction of kind of the coronavirus funding and things like that, the list we've got, but anything to do with start-up funding, it would always be Business Gateway that would go kind of through.
And I've not received a penny. I've not even really been helped with the actual access to any funding for this when I'm starting up a business. Absolutely incredible. Is there a grant like fund line? Is there a one-stop shop to actually access grants and start up capital and access that on the Business Gateway thing?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's dependent on the local authority area.
Right.
That's why normally it goes to the kind of individual local offices. I know obviously the funding does change sometimes, I believe, between the local authorities and things like that, so what's maybe available in one wouldn't be available in another, but that is all kind of handled by the local authority. That's why it goes to kind of each individual local office.
But surely there should be just a grant fund finder. So if I'm an entrepreneur and I want to access it, The questions that they ask are pretty much the same. Do you have a business plan? What's your financials, etc.? Surely I should just be able to put this in a website, and then it automatically finds out if I'm eligible for any grants that are available.
As far as I'm aware, there's nothing kind of like that. There is a kind of page on mygov.scot that you can kind of search for funding options, but it doesn't kind of get you to put in a kind of eligibility or anything like that. It's just kind of where you can look for kind of funding options that are available. Just there are multiple kind of avenues for kind of funding and things like that. Just like I say, normally if it's anything to do with kind of startups, we would put you to the business gateway, just to deal with all the kind of startup funding that we kind of know about.
Mygov.scot, where is it in mygov.scot?
Bear with me and I'll just get you it.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, it's just mygov.scot /funding.
Search business financing.
Yeah, search for business funding or advice. That's the kind of government kind of page with just kind of various avenues and things like that that are kind of available.
Search for your business. So that's all of them? Is that a comprehensive list?
So that's some of the funding that's available. You can also search on the kind of Find Business Support website. There is kind of various options for different things. Just having a wee look on there as well.
Say that again. What was that last one called?
Just the Find Business Support website. They have kind of funding that's kind of either through Scottish Enterprise or kind of Skills Development Scotland, things like that. Might not necessarily. Some of it might apply to startups, some of it might not. But you can have a look on there as well.
So on the right, okay, and so that's on MyGov.scot, and then you've got the Find
Business Support.gov.
So that's got other things as well, have it?
Yeah, so you can browse kind of any kind of support that's available. There's different kind of maybe not necessarily funding, but there's other kind of support in that available. There is a specific page on coronavirus and all the funding that's available for that as well.
Browse support in Scotland. Mm. 180 support options. Filter, search and filter. Filter first, oldest filter and newest. So local authority grants and things like that.
Yeah, so basically when you click on it, it'll tell you more information about it, and it'll tell you who provides that. So some of them will maybe be Skills Development Scotland, and normally it'll take you to whoever's dealing with that sort of funding directly to their website, and then you would kind of inquire.
See, this is very time consuming. What there should be is just one portal with one thing, and then I put in the details once, rather than actually doing this. It is completely time consuming, and it's even more frustrating when if you get to the end of collating all this massive information and then you don't get anywhere with them. Then this whole process is just a complete waste of time. So there should be just one portal, one access, and the information that's requested can be disseminated out to every one of them. That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. It's just normally a lot of funding dealt with by kind of various bodies and things like that. It's just no one has actually kind of collated them all in the one kind of place. The one kind of place we've got for most of them.
But maybe they should have though. Maybe that's a government thing that the government's failing. Because if I go through this as an individual, I could waste hours and hours and hours going through these